All right, Justin, Jordan McCarles from JMac Golf Academy. Took a look at the videos that you sent along. We had that email exchange about whether one was more recent than the other. This is my dog Duncan, who unfortunately likes to get in these videos. I'm home today, which is why I've got time to do this from Reddit. So what I wanted to talk about was the change between those couple videos that you shot. So the one in your white t-shirt that was a few weeks ago, here's what we saw from that. So the golf club would get a little bit too far behind you, right? In this sort of laid off, short condition with the club pretty deep behind you. And then obviously you've been working on it for a bit, so you started to get the club up a little bit higher, more into this condition. I actually really like the position at the top of the newer video, the one in the sweatshirt. That is pretty significantly different. However, and I think the reason why you mentioned something, which is, oh, you know, it felt like I would hit it good, but then I look up and the ball was going right, which is the one element of this higher backswing that you're getting yourself into more now is that the club face is slightly more open than it was in this video. Part of that is usually the way that people path the club a little bit too far behind them is they kind of yank their left arm this way. And in doing so, oftentimes they will end up getting their left wrist more flat, which tends to have that opening and closing control of the face, right? So getting the club further behind you as you were on the white one, wrist was flatter, club face was in a much more closed position, partially leading to those hooks that you were experiencing, right? Now in the change that you made, which is, hey, I'm gonna get my club up a little bit higher, which I don't know if that was inspired by you or a video or whatever, but it was actually a good choice. I definitely would recommend that. But you need to figure out a way to get the club face a little bit more closed, closer to the condition that it had when the club was behind you, right, too far. So if maybe, I think the first thing that I would look at is just simply getting a little bit more bow in my left wrist, similar to how it was back there. Just for clarification, this is cupping, which is bad, which opens the face. This is bowing, which will help close the condition of the face. And so if we can keep the same orientation of the club up the top, where it's a little bit higher, but get that face a little bit more closed, you'll not only hit, you said, hey, I'm striking it better. It's because the club's coming down on a more kind of neutral path. It's not as stuck behind you. You're not rolling it through, the face isn't as shut. But we do need the face to be a little bit more closed. So that's why this stuff is complicated, right? Yeah, I think you have the right idea, which is I'm gonna get the club up a little bit higher. But in doing so, I think through that pathing, you were just opening the face a little bit with that left wrist, to where that club face is not radically open, but just slightly open, enough so it's like, I'm still hitting it solid, but it's maybe starting straight and falling a little bit right, or yeah, but most likely that's the result I would look at. So I think you're on the right path, man. I would continue on with what you're doing, continue to get the club nice and high, but maybe add in just the tiniest bit of bowing at the top with your lead wrist. You don't want to drag that club behind you and get it short and laid off and closed, but nice and at the top, nice and high and closed, should allow you the opportunity to like continue to swing on through and make good results. So hopefully that makes some sense. Feel free to ask me any questions. Yeah, hopefully that works for you, man. But I do think you're on the right path here. Thanks.